Hello there and welcome to my channel, Bobo Bun So Vintage Life. I'm Lisa and in this video today I'm going to just be doing a catch up on what I've been up to really, because the last video that I filmed I thought it was really interesting, but that will be saved for another day because I had loads of technical issues and then it all got deleted. So after lots of editing I was very about it all. That's a polite way of putting it actually. So today I thought it'd just be nice to talk about, what I've been sewing, inspiration and doing, and things that I think will interest you. So stick around and I shall see you back here in a moment. Hello again. So if you're joining me for the first time, and I'm Lisa, I'm a vintage inspired seamstress and a dressmaking teacher, totally bonkers about all things sewing and creating, and I love to share that with you here and on my Instagram feed. I always struggle with that word, don't know why. Anyway, so that's who I am. I've got lots of you subscribing to me now, over 200, which is just amazing. Yeah, I know some people's accounts have the big numbers, but it is a really big thing to have 200 of you that actually want to subscribe and watch what I produce, and that means a lot. So thank you very much for joining me. So on to the business of the day. As I said, I'm just chatting about what I've been up to of late. It's been really bitty trying to find time for sewing. When I sew a garment, I love to have a full day at it, but at the moment it's been like I've got an hour here or a half an hour there, and lots of in out around work, running people around, doing things, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I've been doing lots of little itty bitty things, but I do have some plans too. I think we'll start with what I'm wearing because it focuses on what I've got on the mannequin as well. So I'm wearing the Bella tea dress, the Liberty pattern that comes from another pattern. I've said this before and I can't remember if it's Simplicity or Vogue. They reproduced it into Liberty. I'm absolutely thrilled with this. It's from a Fabric Godmother fabric that I've got. Oh, it's just a beautiful quality, and I loved all the colours, so I can mix in lots of cardigans and whatnot. If I stand up I'll just show you the velvet belt that I've got around. It's an old Noah one, so I love that, just to give it a little bit of extra, like all my colour pops. So on a previous video I was showing you, I'll just show you this scrap because it's from a collar, this beautiful fabric. This is also from Fabric Godmother, I bought at the Stitch Festival. I had a few ideas what I do with it, but it's such a beautiful quality rayon, but it literally feels as near as damn it silk. It's just glorious to handle, but that means that the weave is quite loose and it really squelches and moves around, so it was a nightmare cutting out the collar. In the end I had to cut the collar with woven interfacing ironed on before I then cut out the top bit, and then really carefully pinned the next layer to it and then cut it, just to make sure that all the curves remained the same size. But as you can see, this is collar number 1 and on here is collar number 2 because I had to unpick this one. So yeah, I decided to make another Bella tea dress, as a few of you said I should, and I think this fabric is really lending itself well with the pleats up here. The collar is sewn on the inside, it's the under collar here that's pinned down. I haven't sewn that yet. I've got all French seams in here. I've got to put the sleeves in. Skirt's made, just got to attach that. But I'm really pleased with how the collar's laying now. The problem with the collar, I chose for the first one not to interface it at all. I really wanted sort of fluid, floppiness of the collar, but that just wasn't working. And on the thing, it was just starting to pull out like that all the way around. I don't know if you can see. So in the end I graded the under collar seams back. I used woven interfacing for the top collar. I've done everything I can to get this collar to lay flat. So I had to unpick that. It was quite interesting this morning. I wanted to make sure the collar worked this morning, and then I thought, I can't believe this. I went to all that effort to make the second collar and I can't find it. I was convinced I'd thrown it in the bin thinking it was a scrap. So I looked high and low and there was just nowhere to see it. And then I saw it on Foxy Lady. I'd laid it around the neck of my mannequin just to lay out flat. So yeah, my brain ain't what it used to be. But at least I'd got it, because I thought, I don't believe all the effort I went to making that collar, and I think I've lost it. But there it was. So yeah, second Bella tea dress is going really, really well. Really love this as a everyday dress. I do feel really good in it. I never thought I'd start moving. I mean, I love the 40s style, but it doesn't love my physique so much. But yeah, I found a 40s dress that I really enjoy wearing. Normally it's 50s all the way for me. So that's what I'm doing with that. Then I've got this gorgeous blouse. I've had this in the to sort out pile for ages. Really cracks along. I mean, I adore this fabric. I got this from Lush Cloth. It's absolutely beautiful. And I was making the smooth sailing blouse, but you know, I've included long sleeves. I cannot remember. I think I just lengthened them actually and then put cuffs on. I made this so long ago. But there's something with the collar on this one that I just don't like it, you know, so it'll come out with quite a deep rever, and it just, every time I put it on I feel quite frumpy, even though the blouse is so beautiful. So that's just there waiting on buttonholes, and to see if there's anything I can do to change the collar and the lapels before I crack on. And I don't want to lose this one, you know, I want to be able to wear it and work out solutions. So there it remains on the to-do pile, trying to think what on earth I'm going to do. Now, something else that I finally got a solution on. I only got this a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely love this. Is a panel I've cut. This bold black with big white hearts fabric I got from, not the one that was yesterday, but a couple of weeks ago, fabric drop from Rainbow Fabric Kilburn. And oh god, I just absolutely love this. I think it comes in like a blush pink with black hearts as well. I knew I wanted a dress that would make the most of this design, so I didn't want a fussy bodice, but I also wanted a really big full skirt with it, you know, something really simple. So I've settled on a sleeveless bodice, and then I wanted a tiered skirt. So the bodice I've settled on is this square one here from this vintage pattern. I've drafted it on and altered it and made it fit me. I'm not sure if I'm going to go for sleeveless or put sleeves in as yet. I absolutely love long sleeves, and it's just a bonus being 6 foot, because you know I've never ever bought a ready to wear long sleeve garment that's long enough for me. But when you can make your own, you can actually make them long enough. But the reason I don't make many long sleeves is because it fixes that garment as being only autumn winter wear. And I like to make a lot of my clothes that I can wear all year round. So if they're sleeveless, I can layer them up. If they're short sleeved, I'm warm enough with a cardigan or a jumper over. I'm pretty warm anyway. So yeah, I like my wardrobe to pretty much work all year round. There's only a few items, you know, really strappy sundresses and real sort of dark winter colours that stay, you know, in those seasons. But as a rule, I want them all to work all year round. So what I'm doing with this gorgeous black hearts is this bodice, and then the tiered skirt from the Jiffy pattern, you know, from Gertie Sews. I'll show you the book. This one, Gertie Sews Jiffy dresses, and it's the Patio dress. So I've turned the bodice of the Patio dress into a blouse before. I have made the dress, you know, in a red tartan, so I shall show you this here. And I've also used the skirt with the Rita blouse, and oh, absolutely love wearing it. It's because it's a tiered skirt and gathered all the way around, it's really swishy. And it probably sounds really sad, but when I walk down our stairs, when I'm wearing big full skirts, as I'm walking down and the gust's coming up the stairs and my whole skirt goes whoosh out, it's just such a nice feeling. And I suppose if I had the kind of stairs that I've got people saying at the bottom, they'd get a big flash of my knickers as well, wouldn't they? So, but I just enjoy the swooshy skirt going out. So I'll show you this pattern in here. It's this skirt here. Oh, it's just absolutely glorious in the 3 layers. So it's really straightforward to do. All you need to do is decide what length you want your skirt to be, and then you would divide it into 3 if you're doing 3 tiers of the skirt. add your seam allowances. So I'm going for like 27-inch length skirt. So with my 5/8 seam allowance top and bottom, I'm cutting 3 panels at 10¼ inches for each of the panels, and obviously have a very narrow hem on the bottom. And then you need to take your waist measurement for the top panel and double that. So you'd cut 2 strips out if need be, you know, and piece those together. And then for the second panel, you would double that again. So you would probably have 4 widths of your fabric you'd sew together. And for the last one, you'd do that up to 6, you know, so you'd treble it. And that's a lot of gathering, I know, but oh, it's just so worth it. So I can just see this very sleek square necked bodice going into this lovely full skirt. So I am excited about it. So I've cut the skirt panels out. I've just got to cut the bodice out. So I kind of started on it. I've been working on all sorts of things today, so that was that. I've got some gorgeous fabrics coming from Rainbow Fabric Kilburn. One, I plan on making a lovely dressing gown, a new summer dressing gown, and the other one for a dress. They very kindly gave me a voucher for their latest drop yesterday, so a couple of the ones I missed out on. You've got to be blooming quick, you know, getting in with Rainbow Fabric Kilburn, but they have some amazing dead stock fabrics. So there was a couple I've really wanted, but I missed those. But yeah, there was enough there that I also really wanted, so I'm very happy. And surprisingly, I've got an orange with hot pink flowers coming. Orange isn't a colour I normally do. And then a beautiful green with some little black flowers, I think, with lilac edging. So really excited about those arriving too. And the other bit of fabric that I got sent to me by Abercorn Fabrics. Again, they got in touch and said, but I like to pick some fabric from their spring summer collection, which is just so kind. I mean, I know this works because, you know, I'm shouting out, you know, you're spreading the word, you know, but it works because, I mean, at the moment I've got no money for buying fabric till next week, when I probably get some of my bills that I've sent out paid. You know, being self-employed, you send out invoices and you wait for the bills to come in, you know, the money to come in. So I've got no fabric, so it really helps with the fabric buying. You know you're buying good quality, and I'll only do that with companies that I really, really believe in. The ones that I will blog for or work with is because I really believe in them. Sometimes I just approach people and ask if they'd like to collaborate with me. I used to think that was really cheeky and rude, and I think, how is everybody else you know, making this work? And then I realised it's because they just approach people. So I do that now because I think I genuinely will shout out anyway for free about people I think are wonderful, but they very kindly also want to give it to me, you know, to show that they appreciate it. So yeah, that's as transparent as it is, really. So this is the fabric I got from Abercorn. I nearly picked one that had a very Liberty feel. I kind of wish I had, so I'll probably have to go back and buy that when I get paid. But I chose this one. I love the blue and the florals, again thinking spring. I haven't got a dress as such planned for this. This is going to sit there and wait to be told. Yes, it will pop in my head and I will know. Like the hearts, they had to sit there for a while till I knew what they wanted to be. So it does come. The other things that I've been doing is I've been trying to be good about looking at what I don't wear. If it can be changed into something else, what needs mending or altering, and you know, trying to finish up knitting projects, because at the minute I've got in my head this knit jumper I want to knit that's got black and pink in it, but I'm not going off to buy the wool. And again, even when I get paid, I probably won't buy the wool because I am trying to finish what I started. So I'll show you the knitting in a minute, but I'll show you some things I've been repurposing. So I've got the Wearing History home front overalls. I've made, I'm trying to think now, I've got 3 denim pairs because one had got really worn out, so I made another couple of pairs because I do wear them a lot. And then I made a brown corduroy pair for the winter, inspired by Helen Alderton on All Creatures Great and Small, which I'm planning to watch again for the 3rd time because it just makes me feel so good. Just everything about the story, the setting, the china, the storyline, and of course the clothes. So knitwear, the whole thing. So yeah, I'm planning on that's going to be my comfort watch of an evening when I knit. Anyway, so back to these home front overalls. This pair, they were just twisting on the bodice. The bodice I never quite got right with this pair. So I took the bodice off and sorted out the waistband, redid the whole placket and sewed that down, so that's the button placket. So I did a bit of twitching around with it, and now I've got another pair of 1940s trousers. So from something that was just sitting there not being worn to something that I'm going to get loads of use out of. So I'm really chuffed with that. I revisited a 1930s dress. I'm hoping I've got a picture to show you that I made for when we went to see Anything Goes in London, which was just, again, an absolute delight. So yeah, I'd got problems with the side zip because I'd never taken the little cord out of the piping. That was just laziness because I was in such a hurry to finish the dress. So it was always a struggle zipping it up. So I've unpicked all of that and yeah, sewn that in. So now I can wear that dress. So I feel really proud of myself when I do that because I just put off these kind of things. The other thing I've repurposed was a skirt I'd made out of bark cloth curtain. It was leftovers from bags that I'd made that I used to sell, the Happy Shopper bags. But the skirt's just too tight. I have put on quite a bit of weight around my middle, which I want to do something about because I can't fit into a lot of my clothes. My lovely man, yeah, he's quite brutally honest sometimes, which he thinks is helpful. Sometimes I think it's quite brutal, but yeah, it's not unkind. But he did say, you actually make all your clothes to 100% fit you, which means I don't allow more than enough ease just to move in them. So therefore, if I go up a size, then I'm a bit screwed about fitting into them. So yeah, I want to shift a bit of weight, but this skirt, yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to the size that I was wearing that skirt. So I took the skirt apart, took the buttons out. I've done that with another dress actually, and took the zip to one side, so I've got some fabric from another dress I took apart. But I made this makeup pouch, you know, it's a flat bottom makeup pouch. These are ones that I make in the second week with my beginners in sewing class to show them how to put a zip in, and then they're making something really handy. And it always catches on. They make them for loads of gifts for their friends, you know, or they'll make bigger versions to put all their sewing kit in. So it's always a project that goes down really well. So I'd cut this one out with the black polka dots and the hot pink zip to demonstrate how to make it. And then I get loads of these as well. So I always cut them out in fabrics I know will be useful for me. And then on Saturday morning, I had some terribly sad news in the morning that a very dear friend who've known since my children were like babies when we went to nursery together, her husband had died. He was just the most fabulous man. And I felt obviously very, very sad and reflective. I went and taught that day. I couldn't go out in the afternoon thing we were going to. I just felt very tired, you know, by hearing such sad news, and I just wanted a bit of calm time sewing. So I decided out of this fabric I was going to make a glasses case, of which this is my old one. It's Pussy Willow bark cloth. You can see I used a magnetic snap, but it's all worn here. It's looking very old. I have washed this since, but it's looking very worn and shabby, and all got piping around the edges. So I made myself a new one, but I don't have that to show you because I then went to see that same friend the next day, which was yesterday, when I visited them, and I told her what I've been doing because she was saying, you'll be proud of me, I've got my sewing machine out and trying to teach myself to sew, because we've had, before COVID, we had some sewing sessions together. And I said to her how I'd made the spectacles case yesterday, and I was thinking about her and her husband. I'm trying not to use names here. So I was thinking about them, and you know, lots of memories and things as I sewed this glasses case. And she absolutely loved it and said, would I make one for her? And she said, I'll pay you. I mean, honestly, I was like, no, I wouldn't want you to pay me, but please have this because it's new. I've literally just made it. And she loved because there was a yellow rose on the back, which reminds me of her grandmother. And the fact that I'd made it thinking of her and her husband at the same time. So she took that and she was really, really chuffed. So it's gone to the right place. I've got the cats hissing at each other at the moment. Our little Luffy is no longer with us. We've got Taku, who's 18, and Lily, who's 10, who loathes Taku. She liked Luffy. We call her Feral Beryl sometimes, but she really doesn't like Taku, never has done. He's the gentlest big old giant, and she has to hiss at him the whole time. So they're having a little to-do over there, which I now think's she's over here, he's over there now. So hopefully they will all behave. Anyway, so I've got to make myself another one of these because I made all my pipe and everything, but it's gone to a really good home, and I'm so glad that I was able to give that to her. So that's that. And then the other thing I've been doing, because I said I'm trying to finish up my knitting, one project I'm getting on with is this Victory jumper. It's from this pattern here in the Vintage Knits, which I've shown you before. So it's this one, which I think looks absolutely glorious. And I do love it in all the different coloured stripes, but I'd seen this on another Instagrammer's feed where she'd done it just in the 2 colours. And I loved it just with the faint colour through there. So I did the sleeves down to there and I really didn't like it. So I'm starting the sleeves again. I'm going to do a shorter sleeve. But I'm very confused by this because the sleeve and the arm side is the right depth. But if you can see this, it goes out into a square at the bottom. Yeah? Like that. Can you see that? Now the sleeve, you literally just knit straight up, and there's and square off at the top. There's no shaping for the sleeve head. There's no going out for the arms. So I can't quite figure out how I'm going to fit that in there, and the amount of rows they've given you aren't long enough for the depth of the sleeve, for the arm side. So yeah, I'm going to have to knit it longer and just hope that this all fits in, because it just does not make sense to me at the moment. I've done all sorts of drawings trying to work out what I can do. So if anyone's got any suggestions, they will be gratefully received. And then once I finish filming this video, I will get back to my Patreon planning. I hope I've said that correctly. I normally say it wrong and my daughters tell me it's not said like that. So is it Patreon? Yeah, I did say it wrong. Patreon. It's Patreon. Oh, I give up. I've got to get that in my head, haven't I? But anyway, I'm still making all the projects and the samples and the planning, and I'm really excited about it, but I don't want to launch it to live, you know. Got a few months in the bag, they're ready to go. So I'm really excited with how that's coming along, and I'm doing that in the background. So all sorts going on, and I'm off teaching this evening. So thank you for joining me today. I realise I say so a lot and pause, but so is the opportune word, isn't it, when we're a vintage sewing channel? So thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you've just enjoyed me talking about some of what I'm up to and this, that and the other. Thank you very much, and thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't already and you like what I'm about, then please, you know, hit the bell, subscribe or like, leave a comment and we can chat more. And yeah, until next time, I shall see you soon. Thank you very much and have a lovely time, whatever you're up to. See you anon. Bye bye.